lot of myself, I'm sure. Turn this down a little bit.
Single support works.
I
Me first before you can get there.
Alright, yeah.
Alright, so let's discuss team comps. Enemy team is running anti-dive. We normally see anti-dive with Widowmaker, particularly on Horizon, and to some extent defense on Junkertown. To see it here is kind of strange. The sightlines aren't so large, and the approaches aren't so long that you really get value out of the Widowmaker as opposed to a McCree. I definitely would have preferred a McCree or a Soldier here. We're running one support double modified dive here. Our goal as the attacking team is to get Soldier set up on this platform. While we dive up here, he'll generally, or dive up here with the Tracer coming around the side here. We'll force them either back into the Tracer, in which case we get a kill, or force them down onto point or back towards their spawn, in which case the Soldier's positioning here is critical to pick them up. It's not exactly how it plays out, because the Soldier doesn't stay there.
I'm going
But we see we have the general idea of like everyone's going main, Tracer's going around this way, and Soldier's going to come up and end up here.
I'm top
They have a
left
Junkrat?
already.
So we might wait for like Lakota on Farah to get some damage and make sure that they are in fact up
I'm
there.
top left.
But with the shield, if everyone's up there, it's gonna.
Upper right Widow?
Yeah,
Upper right Widow?
Yeah,
Alright, so we see them all kind of grouped up. They're spread out in a really kind of awkward manner. Like these guys right here, based on the dive, and this is a little desynced. When they come up here, they can't really go this way without taking a shit ton of damage. And for that reason, like I'm able to kind of catch them here.
Listen, let me know when you're in. Okay, they're coming in.
Yeah, I like the dive immediately.
Position.
We're going in, we're
Ben's here
going in.
too. Send
I'm
go.
on
Very
one
nice
red.
and decisive.
I'm on.
We lose mech immediately. Not a huge fan of
Upper
that.
right Widow?
Yeah,
Upper right Widow?
Yeah,
We use a lot of Matrix on approach.
listen, let me know when you're in. Okay, they're coming in.
Then we use it, yeah. We use Matrix while we're still kind of going
Position.
in,
Going in,
instead of
going in.
letting it just take our armor first.
Send
I'm
go.
on Moira. I'm on the tanks.
Notice how Tonki dropped down on Soldier. Staying up here would provide him better sightlines and let him to actually pressure things without putting himself in danger. There's a non-zero chance that like the Hog or the Orisa or the Junkrat in response to pressure drops, in which case he can be placing himself in some danger by going down, but we're capturing the point
I'm on the tanks.
because of it.
Capping point right now.
It's not that big of a deal though, we just need to win the fight
Alright,
first.
they're dropping Orisa on point.
Alright, you see the Hog drops this way,
We're on
More
point.
down.
so they're playing
I don't know.
Orisa
split.
on point.
We're on point. Heard that?
Isn't great for that. I'm mostly going to focus on what we can do as attackers. Other than that, this is a good
Hog on
cleanup for the
point,
rest of the
Hog on
time. The Hog, this Junkrat should be called out sooner, ideally, but the Hog on point is a good call. So we lose track of him.
In Mega.
Burn this hog.
Coach just kind of goes in there. There's like no reason for Winston to chase in here. This guy is like full health. Was he full health the whole time? Let's watch.
More down. I don't know
Orisa on
who.
point.
So we're gonna go this way.
Hog on point. Hog on point.
Hog on point. Hog
How low
on
does he
point.
get?
Junkrat in Mega.
He gets pretty low, but that's still like another second of zapping.
Burn this hog.
I don't know when the jump cooldown was. Generally though, like, you don't want to pressure in too far. Winston and Diva need to be working as a pair, and if they can clean up an individual together, that's ideal. This is a little bit of an overcommitment.
Junkrat.
Ultimately, it won't matter because the fight's over.
He's
He's
downstairs.
Mega.
Maybe as Tracer, I'm supposed to drop here instead of maintaining this position for if they try to recontest.
Junkrat's dead.
So they get two people. That's unfortunate. He builds a decent bit of ult charge from that.
We'd won. Honestly, it's like I knew we won the fight, so I was like, "Fuck it, I just want to see if I can get this off."
The monkey, but get a bad spawn for that. So yeah, I like what hashtag is doing is now that we've achieve the point, we're going to push up and try to get their respawns. Unfortunately, team is not yet with them. I don't know. I think Winston got bad spawn, which is why some of us are delayed. Myself as Tracer at least should be pushing up with him. If I was, then depending on how many people are behind this Orisa, we could clean her up. This is their Moira. Okay. Yeah, we should be pushing up as soon as we take this to take an early fight so they can't hold at this corner and are forced to make a first stand basically here, in which case we can go around, take the high ground here, and force them even further back to like this next corner, in which case I as Tracer can go around the side here. And it's just a giant give and take. We captured the point a little bit ago. Tonki is looking to
almost got me
switch.
off egg,
So
but not
Tonki, why
quite.
don't you switch to Zen here?
Okay.
Yeah, I love hashtags positioning here.
And you can sit on point.
This is
everyone
generally
else
good. He realizes he can't do anything. I don't know if I'd waste rockets doing that.
can push up.
I don't think it ultimately matters. Who is this? Is this their Moira again?
Oh, they're
It
all.
looks like their Moira. Their Moira is really far up. We haven't
pushing forward
scouted it.
here.
This is a great angle by Lakota. He has no one on the enemy team to contest. Honestly, the Mercy should just be with her. There's no reason for Mercy to sit on point here. We have someone coming from spawn to push payload. We have other people here. The rest of us can kind of like push up and take like this position, leaving Zen back on point. Mercy should just stay with the Pharah.
Going high ground against them? They have a Sombra.
They
You
have
see me coming around like this way to get the high ground.
Moira.
The Moira is just, I don't know what the fuck's
Yeah.
Sombra, sorry. There's,
Sniper one
they do
left.
have one.
Sniper might be coming behind us.
I'm gonna be
Got
getting
Okay,
Zen
I picked
after.
Moira.
Get Zen off high ground.
Alright, so Winston's going in. It seems fine because we have started a snowball in our favor, but he can't stay up here for long periods of time because his diva is not with him. And where is our Mercy? Let's see where our Mercy went to.
Yep, Zen on high ground is one.
Oh, okay, Mercy's playing way the fuck back here. Which is generally fine, but at this angle it takes him longer to support the Winston in case the Winston becomes critical. Once we dive this high ground, Mercy can just kind of like chill out here for a bit instead of going around with Guardian Angel. This is a really, really safe position. But at the same time, it's not as like, you're not getting all the opportunities you possibly can. The only thing I like about this position is if they went to stall payload, you could support payload as well. But I'd like to think you could do that from here as well. I don't really see where I am as Tracer.
He's
I'm
down.
on
Oh, I haven't really done
I'm
too
alright.
much just
Hog
yet.
as well, Hog is really low.
Okay, we see now we have to support the
Maybe.
Winston.
I'm barraging here.
Barrage here wasn't coordinated. If we were looking to barrage, we'd like to have defense matrix for ourselves, or Winston bubble, or both, and at least let Mercy know. We react
I'm on
fast enough.
Orisa.
Doesn't really seem to matter. One on payload. Easy cleanup from here.
Got her.
All right.
Okay.
So we're going. They're not going to be able to contest till like almost last
Yeah.
second
Some
Pressure
speed.
up.
Just hold this trip.
if they regroup right now.
Whoever's so far up may want to
That's right.
come back.
So he's just scouting. That seems like a good thing. So we took like a huge advantage there. If we're able to hold the pressure here and stall them here, they won't be able to contest here. So long as he doesn't lose his mech, and he's in no danger of that outside of maybe getting hooked or hacked and then repeatedly dove,
Okay.
he's
Just
perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm like, there's not really much for me to call here because we're just going straight through the streets. Just,
Jump is kind of
uh,
weird.
keep calling targets.
Junkrat
we
coming
should
high
pass.
ground.
To go 3 on point, we could just finish it.
It's a
Sounds
bad
you're
tire
right.
by them. What I consider here from Winston is that as soon as he hears the tire, like that's Junkrat's. You can force the Junkrat to pop it on you. If he doesn't pop it on you, you just kill him. If he does pop it on you, you trade, but we're getting point anyway. So it's better that than forcing the rest of the team to lose.
Nice.
You know-
It's on payload.
He didn't even get anybody. I'm on Hog
Bad,
underneath.
bad
Hog
tire,
underneath.
bad tire.
He's by
Hog is in the middle of nowhere.
there's,
Alright,
there's a
get
shield.
Tonky, heal those up. I have my ult already. Just heal them up. Here we go.
They're all
They're
low. They're all low.
I don't really get to see why that doesn't happen. This should be communicated. Because I realized the Winston's a little bit low, but like he is a prime fucking target up here and easily dove. He's separated from his team. He can't be readily peeled for outside of maybe Hook. And he's forced, in order to save him, they're forced to either like coalesce or him to like mine twice away. So definitely call this out.
High ground.
Instead we jump further in as Winston. Wonder if that's just a miscommunication. We end up here with our Diva here and this person like right in the middle. We lose our Far in the exchange. So we're likely to res him here, so we're not going to have too many heals coming for our front line whatsoever. And since they're desynced, they're liable to take a lot of damage, and there's a shit ton of damage coming out from the enemy team. So this is like an overstep.
Discord
When this guy's super easy to get.
for Junkrat.
Cold targets, I'm down.
Junkrat 1.
Discord their soldier.
Did we already use our res?
Just
No.
pull out,
I'm backing
pull
up.
Res is late. Yeah, and they just coalesce to make sure that they win this fight. And we rightfully retreat. I think we could have gotten Tonki out if we had all moved backwards immediately.
I guess I shouldn't have
Stay
raised
on it.
They burned
Actually,
so many ults.
Stay on it,
Alright,
actually.
alright.
Get out,
Come
yeah.
back, come out.
I literally can't. I literally
he's
can't.
gone.
You like my
Yeah,
son?
like it, you know what I mean? Like as soon as yeah. It's okay though. I got Zeno. What do we want to combo
Since
here?
feeding,
So I like the communication about ultimates coming up. You don't quite have Zone ult, and with the shield you might not be able to build it right away, but you'll have it very, very, very soon. What are we looking for ults? Probably best bet is just to open up with this. See if we can get a pick. We don't really have too much in the way of like ult combos. Another one we could do is if we had Diva Bomb, we could Diva Bomb and Winston ult to like knock them into it away from safety. They only have one ultimate and it's a defensive one. That won't save them from bomb in general, and if we're able to split them, should be good for us.
and it's still my shots.
You said, are we
They
close
burned
to
a lot of ults for that. They burned 1, 2, 3 by the looks of it.
Are we close to anything? Alright.
Junkrat no
else?
trap.
Said you almost. Oh yeah, we have 74.
So I could see a decent number of us trying to take this position away from the Junkrat, and then using that as a springboard for our jump, like this platform here. Tracer going around the side looks good. The other three, 1, 2, 3, going main for the most part. You just have to not take a lot of poke up here. Maybe we can get Zenyatta up here, but for pretty much he's going to be on payload, I think.
Zeno.
They don't have any
Yeah, I'm
flankers
gonna go
to hurt that.
Yeah, let's go in with Pulse.
This works too. If this is communicated, he's diveable. Once again, because his team is really playing back here, despite their shield here.
Pulse and Valk.
We good?
See how they all fall back due to pressure?
Yeah,
The
Broiler.
Junkrat does not react to it.
Junkrat high
Good
ground.
on his
Ooh,
part.
Dakota.
This can be immediately dove. Like, I think Tonki's actually a little close. Tonki can sit back here and just be just fine. Or use this pillar as safety. Or use this corner. I don't think the payload offers him too much. Granted, they don't have the real mobility to punish him, so he can do whatever he wants. But if he's further back or further to the side, like particularly these first two spots here, he gets a sightline on this, which I think is nice. Yeah, just jump this, I think.
Roadhog.
Yeah,
is
Tiger
right.
right
Yep, there we go.
Oh, there you
Discord
He mines away because we weren't matrixing it on
on
approach.
Junkrat.
Seems fine. We get stuck up here as Winston. Once you realize the Hog's up here, we can actually just avoid him by going this way. That should be communicated that he's up there, so that our Zenyatta doesn't fall prey to it. Zenyatta's positioning is kind of weird here now with this guy up here. We don't really have the people to contest the Hog, unless the Diva goes up there in conjunction with the Winston. Even then can be risky. You'd have to send like all three here to go up there, because Mercy, Pharah, and Tracer don't really want to be in that scenario against Hog ever. Alternatively, we can fight the rest of the people where Hog is not, because Hog is going to take a while to actually influence this fight with his hook down and this positioning. He's forced to basically drop immediately onto payload. So for Zenyatta in particular, so Winston drops down. and tries to play like this corner until his cooldown comes up. In which case him and D.Va jump someone, probably this, or this, or this, or depending on cooldown management, Moira. But I wouldn't jump her if she has Fade already. You can force her to Fade, but I don't think that's good for the initial jump, because you'll just get blown up by the rest of their damage. Zenyatta should probably be pushing payload, maybe push here underneath of it, and just hope to contribute from the back here and hope the hog doesn't get ya. Maybe. If he does, hopefully you have built trance and can trance into the fight.
Alright, go.
There's
Zen half.
Zen by tree.
Alright, so our Winston stays up there.
Junkrat high ground.
Where are you, Lakota?
So he gets
Roadhog
jumped.
is
Junkrat.
right here.
Oh, there you
Discord
are.
is Junkrat.
He just kind of stays up here instead of following the Junkrat, which is a little weird. He gets pulled and hooked. And here he should drop, but he doesn't.
There's
He just like stays up there, gets
Zen by
discorded.
tree.
Oh,
Zen
Like,
behind
one shot.
The tank.
Yeah, we know Hog's up there. This res is egregious.
Discord Zen.
He gets it off. Okay.
I'm on soldier. You see?
Where is our Zenyatta? I don't see it. This thing is broken down into a mess where like we have both DPS in the back. We have a Mercy and a tank here. We have someone else here.
Orisa, guys. Orisa. Discord
more.
Orisa.
Alright, so our Zenyatta has ended up here, which is fine. It's time sensitive though, in that like these two tanks are both looking at him and can collapse on him, but he might be able to trade his life and positioning for additional distance on the payload and these two dead. He'll have trance by that point.
Moira's
Moira one.
Is Junkrat left side?
I see how they are letting us push before contesting.
back,
That's
Junkrat?
good. We end up here.
Oh, I fat fingered.
Moira.
Yeah, we didn't need that, but that's fine.
Left side back.
Someone should be pushing payload. Should be Tonky
Junkrat
at the end
down?
here.
The Roadhog.
Roadhog.
Notice how Tonky ends his trance in the face of the enemy team. Here it's fine, it doesn't really matter. In general, you gotta make sure you're not doing that. But the fight's won and he's trying to frag out. Totally
Roadhog
get it.
down.
Thankfully someone's on
Three on
payload.
point, bleed doors. I'm gonna barrage the right side if they come up.
Okay.
Alright, so we don't need to use the Winston ult immediately. We can just wait for them to actually do shit. I like the Pharah watching one side and the tanks watching the other.
Zen's
Or
coming
then
left
all of us are watching this one.
side. Zen's
Tonky's positioning seems fine. I wish I could push up a little bit more, but I think having two on
Come on.
payload's good as
Nice.
well.
Zen's left side.
I should maybe be pushing up, yeah, definitely.
Zen's left side. He's
So no
off there.
trance.
Moira no
Get
fade.
up high, Lakota.
Moreno Fade should be a universal call out.
Get up high, Lakota.
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
Discord Zen.
Get a huge one here. It's unfortunate that I'm gonna recall and then drop down into
Zen behind point. Zen.
Yeah,
Zen,
just
Zen.
get fucked there.
Zen's low.
Zen on point. Zen on point.
Alright,
Roadhog.
see how in a moment.
High, Lakota.
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
Discord Zen behind point. Zen. Zen's low.
Zen on point. Zen on point.
See how Taki like comes up so that he's suddenly in the hog view.
Roadhog.
retreats.
Roadhog.
Masterful bait.
Soldier.
No, soldier's doing a lot of damage.
Alright, we got that.
Seems fine.
Yo, nice target call, Stalky.
Let's
Man,
I-
go to Ilios.
You guys
Yeah,
are-
Yeah, this is when we
Lighthouse,
start
okay,
getting
yeah.
problems.
Issue.
Go. Alright, right.
So let's discuss our team comp. We're running a dive comp that we saw us play earlier on Ilios, rather. Tracer Soldier. Soldier's going to be sitting up here for the most point, and we're going to control this courtyard from them and leverage point off of that. Now they're running now double hit scan, which means they're going to likely be posted up here. The issue with this is while they have good command of this, they have weaker command of point because they don't have a DPS that naturally wants to go to point. And if they're forced to drop down to like an adequate area that can test point like here or here, they can be more easily dove. So for this reason, I like our comp a little bit better. I don't like double hit scan whatsoever, particularly against dive. You run the issue of shields and matrix just really cucking you, and you don't have the mobility to circumvent it. If we run Zenyatta and Soldier up here, they can peel for each other just fine. Winston, Tracer, Diva. So the Winston and Diva have to be careful. Because we're going to have a lot of damage sitting on this high ground from the enemy team if they have both hit scans and their Zen, and the possibility of counter dive with these two coming up here. You can't linger up here. There's a threshold that I definitely don't want to cross on this side that we can't quite see, unless the fight's already guaranteed.
Right side, right side. Oh yeah.
So we'll
I'm
see
on
this here in
point.
a second. So here's the standard layout. We have everyone up their fucking stairs. We have our Winston here. I think I go this way as Tracer and end up sitting on point. We already have the Diva out here. They're a little desync from coming in, but they both are within range to contest this box at a moment's notice, which is great. The only thing I will say is that I think Winston's positioning allows him to take more damage upon approach than our Diva. The Diva is relatively safe from poke and can use a lot of cover, while if he jumps in, he's in full sight the entire way. It shouldn't be that big of a deal if he gets an orb. It's just something to note. This is the threshold that I was talking about. So like, we want to contest this box, right? But let's draw that a little bit better. We want to contest exactly this box, right? And like this area too, kind of. But it's mostly this box. This is the good box. However, we can't really go back into here. This is bad fucking space for us. The reason for that is we're going to lose line of sight from our primary DPS. Soldier on the high ground, he's going to be unable to support us, and suddenly we're going to be 4v2 in this tiny choke, where it is nice that we have some good AoE damage for that, but we're guaranteed to like trade inefficiently. Soldier Station plus Mercy Pocket plus Flashbang plus Discord, and that is going to be hell in here if any of their tanks get involved. So we're looking to come up here, force them back into this choke, and then kind of drop down, because we don't really care about this except to leverage the point. And if we can stall them here, we'll gain advantage on the point, and then we can just collapse onto whoever's on the point and win from there. So that's how I think we should be playing this map.
Double hit scan, double hit scan.
And I think we'll see us not playing it that way, and we'll see what's going wrong.
Where's their Zen?
So right now, we're in a neutral state, and they've positioned poorly for this neutral state. They have all of their tanks up here, they have everyone fucking up there, so the space they're controlling is like here back to their spawn, right? While us, we have someone here, we have a Tracer over here, so our basic range of influence is something like this, and we control this entire space all the way back up to and including the point. So we don't really have to do anything. If both teams do absolutely nothing, we're going to gain control of the point, and it's up to them to change that.
They're all
Instead, we are going to make a proactive play onto them, which is, in my opinion, going to overreach.
I'm just playing point right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do literally nothing right
Is
now.
Ivan on right side on bridge?
Yeah.
Alright,
Got the-
So we get a pick, and that'll cue us jumping in. You can see the Winston seem to be going into here. It's unfortunate that he fails his jump, and it's not immediately communicated. Or it's not well enough communicated to his tank buddy that missed, because as soon as one fails the jump, the other one kind of just has to leave, which would be fine. So if neither of them went up there, they just kind of sit here for a bit and just play with like the inside here, and so in case anyone dropped down to point, they could like fight them, leaving the hit scan kind of useless up top.
the McCree, got the McCree.
Zivan.
So you see how far committed this guy goes? Hashtag goes in here. He's going to lose his mech immediately.
I missed.
Discord,
Can't
Discord.
follow you, Carrot.
So there goes the mech, because he's in there against what essentially amounts to 4 people. 5 people, because the Diva comes back in. So he loses mech, but we're going to gain point regardless. We're now basically even, especially if this res comes out. Now we're down 1. We have the Lucio coming in this way. Doesn't seem too bad. This is a decent like boop area in and of itself. Winston jumps back up when the fight has progressed this way.
Yo,
Come
get
on,
on
monkey.
point, get on
You
point,
get
get
to
on
see this monkey. See this monkey.
Hashtag's unfortunately going to die there.
I'm
Discord
melting it.
diva.
Tonki has left his positioning up there to get closer. He gets booped off by the Diva charge, not the Diva remech, as he'll claim here in a second. And that's kind of the consequence of like jumping up here when he didn't end up need to. It's a small mistake that I definitely wouldn't have been able to pay attention to early on, but it turns out it matters here. So we continue like fighting this when really we only care about like this box going forward, and I think this is an overreach as well.
Diva.
I'm on monkey.
So
I'm
we're
on
gonna
monkey.
lose this initial fight.
Okay, Diva on
Soldier.
point. Diva on point.
Soldiers in the middle.
Their Diva played that really well by counter diving our Diva, booping our Winston, and just removing our tanks.
Discord soldier.
Okay.
He's
Now I didn't realize that he had been res, so I'm gonna get stunned here and died, and we're gonna get cleaned up.
Fights lost. Just die or
Keep
back out.
contesting if you're there. Okay, no,
Let's
we
go.
don't have anyone there.
Yeah, I wasn't close to playing.
All right.
Yeah, thrown off the map by a deep.
So they're probably going to set up 3 people here with the Mercy able to go back to high ground. We'll see the Zen actually on low ground, which makes him an excellent target.
Oh, feels bad, man.
That's weird.
It does
Showing
do
like
push back.
It's ready.
No, that's supposed to happen. Pushback.
Just take high ground again and then look for a target. Take high ground again.
They're on our high ground. We have 2.
So this is decently collapsible. We're unlikely to get kills in it because the Winston can leap away and then the Mercy can follow. But we do still want to take control of this high ground. I think I like the Diva committing her dash to get up here, so long as she's careful of line of sighting the McCree and Soldier, who are likely on the opposite high ground. I can kind of support here. If I like blink to this pillar, I can fight this and fight them if they drop down. I think I see an opportunity on the Zen at their lower mega.
2 on the high ground.
Okay.
For
Should be able
shield?
to
There's soldiers on there. There's Zens by their mega.
They just backed off our.
Alright, so they back off just a point. Because they're not really fighting for this as so much as they're just kind of delaying it as long as possible to set up for the point.
Yeah.
Soldier opposite high ground. 3,
2,
2, 1,
1.
diving. It's actually.
Alright, so... Their Zen is here. I'm gonna... Or no, I killed him already. He was here. He's dead. These guys have both basically lost armor on the initial push, which is a problem. I don't see either of them having the orb. That might be incorrect. But we definitely want to leave orb on one of the tanks to keep them in armor. It's super fucking important. I think we make the mistake of chasing
Zen
the
down,
Mercy
Zen down.
too far here. See how we're on different targets as Winston here? Where like the Mercy can be bursted down or the Soldier can be killed. Here's the McCree. They lose so much health upon approach, and then we split our attention between our 2 damages. We haven't dropped a bubble yet, so we're forced to use Matrix here.
Discord's Winston.
I'm
Discord's
on-
Winston.
Where's our bubble?
Soldier, it's fine.
So we go too far into here, and once again, no one can help us once we get inside this door frame. You can see, like, what happened to our bubble? We had to have used it earlier, right?
They just backed off our high
There's
ground.
soldier.
And look for a target. Take high ground again.
They're on our high ground.
Did we just
We
never
have 2
bubble?
on the high ground.
Okay.
For
Should be
shield?
able to
There's
jump
soldiers on there. There's Zens by their mega.
They just backed off our high
There's
ground.
soldier opposite high ground. 3, 2, 1, diving. It's
There's
actually
Zen
Mercy
down,
now,
Zen down.
Mercy.
Discord's Winston.
I'm on-
Discord's Winston.
Yeah, soldier, it's fine.
So we got 2 of them. We never dropped bubble, which is a huge problem. We could have prevented, like, the McCree from getting in here and trading our mech. But generally, I think this fight went reasonably clean. I think we overstepped a little bit to get a kill, which commits us to the fight. But we lose mech.
I'm on Diva.
Here, we finally use bubble, but it's a bit late, and then we jump beyond the bubble to be greedy for a pocketed McCree when we don't have Diva mech. And we're at this health. Like, we should die for that.
Diva's on point.
Okay, half.
Okay. Yeah, get this D.Va on point. Everyone pull back to point. Everyone
We
pull
actually live long enough to get our cooldown back. That's good. They die.
back to point.
They're letting me cap it. Come point.
Both our
free.
tanks are like negative health though.
Heals.
We get an orb on our Winston here. I think we're too far to get him pre-jump.
You're.
We recapture point, we get mech, and we start cleaning the fight.
I thought
Seems
you were
fine. This might be a little bit of an overextension. I'm not sure. I don't see where
walking
the
towards
respawn
me,
is.
so I
Seems fine.
anti-healed, and then you walked away.
Oh, he
from
gets the
me.
mercy too. That's
Yeah,
good.
you're
We
good.
don't even lose armor. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well
I'm going up
calculated.
top with you.
I have to hide
Hey
us.
guys, tanks come right here.
I dislike this positioning that Lakota's about to suggest, where we hide on this high ground. I think better we can just like kind of do what they did, which is like just kind of stay up here and prevent or delay them from taking this space for a decent bit, using defensive cooldowns to stall them out, and then just kind of dropping down. They still need to eventually contest point. And so taking this space is only like step 1 of maybe 3, where they get this high ground, and then their tanks have to win a fight on stage while they're up here or down here, and then they have to cap point. So like, I dislike setting up away from the win condition because we're just kind of giving them a free path down to point then. I like what we end up doing at some push where we have both of the tanks up here on this line, so lets them drop down for free without receiving too much poke.
Like you see,
See how the next fight goes. I think it's a little bit doomed to start because they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have a possible 6 ult push this coming around. While we have 1, 2. We haven't been keeping track of ults too much. Our tanks have been taking a lot of damage on approach, so it doesn't surprise me that these DPS are so high. I used bomb in the last fight. I don't know how much damage Lakota has been getting through. I've seen a lot of their tanks kind of rush back to help, particularly their D.Va.
on the right here. Oh, you see
So
on
I
the
don't know.
right on this little top
Yeah.
thing over
Yeah,
on
so
the right.
tanks hold right. Tanks hold
And
right
then-
side.
Yeah, I actually like we hold here or we hold like above point. Line of sighting with the lighthouse, I think is ideal.
Yeah, and then when they dive, me,
That way we're still actually pressuring this area. So like where we are back here, no one can jump to here. I don't even know if Winston can jump to here, but it's
counter dive.
just like we're not holding space up
Soldier
there.
going high
Let's do
ground.
a Z check.
Well, they could just walk to point.
They
Soldier
can just
going
walk
high
to
ground,
point.
Mercy
I
going
agree.
high ground.
So I
We'll see.
communicate them all going to point. I'm unlikely to actually be able to go up here because of the McCree, for instance, or in the narrow hallway.
They're all going high ground.
So what I can do instead, just kind of play around with whoever comes to point. I like this flank for like if someone's coming in late, maybe
Yeah, we can't hold there. They
to
all have
try
high
it,
ground.
but it's not.
We should focus
Super
D.Va this
great.
fight so I can hold. So I can.
Look for when they send.
See how they're just like, oh, they gave up high ground. Oh, we can just transition to here, and suddenly they have to come to us. Now we have to cover this courtyard when they have double hit scan here.
somebody to contest, and we probably
Yeah,
not
they're
gonna get
contesting now.
Yeah, I should be here already.
Dead. Mercy.
See, who are we jumping on though?
They all have high ground.
We should focus D.Va this fight so I can hold. So I can.
Look for when they send.
So we're unlikely to win this fight just due ult economy, but
somebody
we seem to
contest, and
jump
we probably
Yeah,
not
they're
gonna get
contesting now.
Dead.
the Mercy here, just super awkward because Mercy can just leave. Mercy's not a great target just depending on their like team spread. She has the option of like, okay, you're not gonna kill her unless you get like the super combo on her, in which case she can just leave or get an orb. If the D.Va tries to commit to help you out, it gets Matrix from her other tank on point. And I think the Zenyatta is just back here in his usual, like, under the staircase spot. So I dislike this dislike using this cooldown immediately.
Mercy. Right on.
See how Mercy
Focus
just
D.Va,
leaves.
Focus D.Va.
And we're kind of just in the middle here without our jump. We haven't used our bubble yet either.
On point.
Discord Mercy.
Did we just die without using our bubble?
Look for when they send somebody to contest, and we probably
Yeah,
not
they're
gonna get
contesting now.
Dead. Mercy. Right on.
Focus D.Va.
Okay, we used the bubble. It just gets
Focus D.Va.
blown the
Focus D.Va.
fuck
on
up.
point.
Okay. Good on them for blowing up the bubble.
Discord Mercy.
Our D.Va, so Winston jumps the Mercy here. And then once the Winston forces the Mercy to go up here, the D.Va has followed this way. We don't end up getting the Mercy. The Mercy ends up Valking at about half health after having a safe retreat path. And because the Winston jumps in without a ton of backup, he's left to kind of die here. So here's some desync where, like, maybe if they both jump, they can get the Mercy as she jumps this way. Even though I don't think the dive was terribly well advised. I think it would have been better to be like, oh, there's double hit scan up top and a Zen here. Why don't we just jump these two up top and force them to come down? Because they don't have any peel outside of the Mercy going up there, in which case the Mercy's the target. You will probably get counter dove by the tanks, but if Winston uses bubble, then maybe that's not as big of a deal. I'd probably just meet them on point and just fight it out on point with your tracer advantage.
Oh.
I think our position was just bad to begin with. I think he's getting damage boosted here, which is why people die so
It's gonna
fast.
stall on point.
Gee.
That's that high, damn.
It like instantly killed us. It was so weird.
Nick,
Get on too late.
they shot me through the wall, I swear to God.
Probably because we were already getting damaged by Winston, so we were already a
Yep.
little bit low.
How do you guys feel
I didn't really see you guys getting damaged by
about
Winston.
going through middle so you can like get a pick and then push in?
You're gonna be sitting on high ground.
Alright, so they only used 2 ults there. Good on them. We used Visor, so we used 1 ult for that. Fortunately, with both our support ults coming up, we don't care too much about
I
Visor.
have a really good.
I'll scout out the high ground.
Yeah, we'll just get a good bump.
They have soldier across high ground.
Just clip their heads.
Talk to him right
So like McCree is an easy target here if we can get there in time.
side.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
both
didn't
their
call
both
it.
their DPS and across high
Now
ground.
the Mercy's up there makes it much more
Yeah.
difficult.
Versus up there too.
He is a little close, and like his hit scan can't really peel for him from this angle. So maybe he's the target. I realize both the tanks are going to dive you immediately, but then you can go into here and just kind of ward them off. It does run you away from your supports, but maybe he's the best option. I know as Tracer, I'm just constantly going this way and killing him, because he has no protection from me.
On high ground.
Zen's
So right
bottom
side,
right.
Alright, see how desync this is? Coach has taken half his health and damage before he lands up here, and he gets some like tickle damage on these two. He doesn't get the jump. I didn't see him get a melee, maybe this is melee damage. But this is so desynced, and we need to be matrixing him immediately, because he gets hit by double hit scan and the fucking Discord,
just
and then counter dove by everyone.
Soldier up on high ground.
So he's forced to ult immediately. Zenyatta's going to die. Good. We actually get 2 there because we have the Winston ult.
Zen down.
Discord D.Va back.
Yeah, D.Va.
D.Va's out of
Monkey.
Why do we use...
Bottom
Side.
right.
Discord soldier up on high ground.
So you get really low too?
Zen down.
Discord D.Va back.
Yeah, I
D.Va.
guess he loses his. That's a shame.
D.Va's out of
Monkey.
map.
You
Alright,
see this
save
monkey?
ults.
Get on
Yeah,
Zen.
Monkey,
Discord,
Monkey's
Monkey.
really low.
This guy's really out of position.
Is that his?
Discord Zen. Get on
Alright.
point.
Point?
Pop that D.Va out of Mac if you want. No,
No,
Where'd
we
she
can
go?
clean up.
D.Va's still up
She's
there.
still up there. She's killable.
Yeah, Z-check,
She got
guys.
away, she got away.
Yeah, okay.
Z-check, are we close to anything?
So they have 4 ults. We have both support ults, which is fine. We can maybe
Alright.
pull this one out.
Oh,
So if you get
they're
tack
Tanks are a little desynced.
trying to.
class mid-fight, we'll probably need it.
See, like the awkwardness of like Lucio here. He has to like climb high grounds to be useful. It's
Oh,
kind of
no.
strange.
No,
And he's
he-
going to leave and go this way. Okay.
Right now.
We used a lot of matrix on that poke.
Thank you.
Alright, I'm gonna stay.
I'm going up
Looking
top.
alright.
with
We used a lot of matrix there.
Oda.
They're coming top.
They're all high ground.
You stay on tech.
So like this should trigger an immediate just drop and kill him. But we're gonna delay here for a bit.
Thanks, I'm
That
going
soldier's
Oh,
low
high
behind underneath you.
What are we waiting for? What the fuck?
I don't think you
Discord
understand.
kill him.
Winston,
Monkey misses
Winston,
jump.
Alright, so our D.Va actually takes infinite damage
Okay.
Top
Alright.
with it.
because we don't have matrix going
They're
on.
coming top.
They're all high ground.
You stay on tanks. I'm
That
going.
soldier's
up.
low behind. Underneath
How much
you.
damage he takes
I don't think you
This
have
before our Winston commits. That's so much.
Monkey misses jump. Monkey Winston jump. Okay.
Zen's up here.
It kind of sucks that like we have both of these ults and it's going to be last fight, but our tanks are so far away from their healers with this setup that we're unable to leverage either of them, while they're able to leverage theirs just because we've committed into their territory.
Oh, so is Mercy.
I dropped.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm gonna save beat. It's just all
it's
Love
okay.
it.
It's not quite last fight. We come in with Trance, which is super fucking awkward considering there's no one on point. But I think we discussed that anyway. They used a bunch of ults there.
Oh, okay.
If we'd come in with Trance and beat,
Oh.
this was definitely
Damn,
winnable.
sorry. I should have said save ults, but I thought it was implied. I shouldn't have thought that was implied.
Yeah, my bad. I should have been looking at kill feed.
Alright, do we need me to touch?
No.
Probably
I
not.
think we're okay.
I get it.
Just somebody stay near there. so that
Lakota, I'm gonna need you to stay back with me a little.
Yeah, I got you, man. I was with you.
Oh shit, they're up here.
Oh yeah,
going
I
to
know.
touch,
That's
going
right.
Okay, now let's get in
Yep,
there. Now
touching.
we-
Go
I'll
in,
touch.
go.
Alright, look how kind of split we are. I mean, I guess he died late. He didn't have to die late. He could have used the last 2 seconds of trance to try to get out of there, I think. Where is our tank? We have a tank up here. We have a tank here. They're doing drastically different things. I'd like to see the Diva come up here to support, to force these guys back.
Go in. Go in, go in, go in.
Focus Diva mech. Focus Diva mech.
Notice how much damage the Winston takes from the crossfire.
A little.
She's
Yeah, I
not
got you,
considering
I was
it.
with you.
Oh shit, they're up here.
Oh yeah, I know. That's right.
Okay, now let's get in
Yep,
there.
So he's at full health, basically.
Now
Touching. Go in, go in.
He
Go in,
comes out.
go in, go in.
Focus Diva mech. Focus Diva mech.
He's gonna jump in the air, which might get him killed.
Can't do anything. You're getting blasted.
Lucio,
He jumps up this way. We drop station. He'll live.
on point.
Drop beat in response.
Winston,
But we
Discord.
already die from the crossfire. That's so rough. All we have to do is like line of sight this high ground and force them to come down to us.
Winston,
Yo,
Winston.
get this Zen and court.
Cold targets. Hash cold targets. I'm down.
I one's in.
We'll lose 2.
Point.
It's just over here.
Yeah.
Our tanks never were together for that last push. They both kind of die separately here.
Then half.
And I'm gonna be useless
I'm a cramp
after my
point.
bomb. I built a bomb from
Alright,
50.
We were trying something new. I know I'm not the best soldier, but I thought.
Is I gotta get used to like calling where to go on that.
So we're running pharmacy versus their basic shit. This McCree, these three, McCree and Zen are going to stay together for the most part. Mercy's going to be in the air. You'd really like for the McCree to also be pocketed. McCree requires a lot of attention from his own team. He requires shields and or pocketing, and he's not going to really get it here, which makes him a nice dive target. Our game plan's pretty simple.
They have their own pharmacy.
Same shit.
They have full dive down with pharmacy, I should say.
So we're able to take space first.
Their
Discord's
tanks are
mercy.
going right side.
So this like right side thing is like fucking awful for them. They lose control of this high ground, which they may or may not have anyway. Which means that suddenly like this high ground is like a problem for them. As I come across, they're also like funneling into this narrow as choke point against a Pharah. Doesn't really make too much sense
Their
to
tanks
me.
are going right side. They have a McCree back there.
Discord.
Diva's really low.
Did he
See how they're just like fucked?
flash?
You going in?
Discord's fair
I like the taking of the high ground before Coach drops
right
down.
now.
Zen one.
Yeah, I'm on.
He still gets destroyed here though because he's not being protected, I think.
McCree back there.
Like we chase up here, we lose so much health for that.
Discord.
Diva's
Does
really
he-
low.
did he
Diva's
flash?
really low.
This guy's in the middle of our team. Our
You going
focus
in?
is elsewhere.
Discord's fair right now.
Zen 1, Zen 1.
Yeah, I'm on.
I don't see anything.
Diva mech down.
Baby Diva Discord.
Winston half.
Discord's Farah. Yeah, I can't.
got
Her down.
Dakota, I had to run
Yo,
away for a second.
hashtag, I can get a orb on you. Back up a second. There you go. Sorry, but
Oh, good.
They have a soldier now. Double hit scan.
They're afraid of me.
Yeah, this is fucking weird. I don't understand this. I think it's really, really, really bad against dive.
Dude.
So McCree first target and Soldier second.
Honestly, it'd be like these two are primary. Soldiers later.
Yep.
Looks like they're going right side. Yeah, they're all going right side. I'm
So
gonna
right
go-
side's worse, because now we can use like this high ground still, and their hit scan will be hit from a number of angles, and they can't do anything.
for suit. Never mind, they have Diva.
Like, I like this taking of high ground by hashtag. I think we're a little bit late to react here. Our Zenyatta should be way over here if he's not already, or can be sitting here. He could also kind of be setting up a crossfire on like this back ass corner. Yeah,
It's
just
generally
don't like their
easiest target.
positioning
Discord's
whatsoever.
on
Yeah,
McCree.
this McCree is dead meat.
Discord's
I'm a little late getting there too. Trying to
You see
figure out
this
how to
Zen
get
in the
high
back?
ground.
Diva
Yep.
Discord.
I'm
See this
Soldier
Zen?
and right
Into the
mid.
wall.
I'm gonna barrage you.
Yo, Discord's Mercy.
That barrage can be communicated better with our diva mech.
Get this Diva,
Alright.
get this Diva. Okay.
Nice. Sable, Sable. It's
They're all really low in there. Mercy's getting
Discord's
out.
Baby Diva.
We lost mech, we should reset it.
Discord's Mercy. Get her, get her, get her.
alright. Yo, Z check,
Let's
guys.
do
Z
Z, yep.
check. They're gonna have a Deadeye ready for sure, so make sure to be near cover, especially Lakota.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the far side of point actually this time.
Yeah, they're,
'Cause
yeah,
I'm
they're,
expecting a speed boost in or like a bum rush.
yeah, they're definitely gonna try to dive me, I think.
They can't really dive you because we should just then counter dive them because they don't have the support, and the Winston bubble is going to prevent their hit scan from doing
On
anything.
far side.
Yeah, I have line of sight on you, so I can.
They're coming right side again.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna Valk.
Diva
They're
going
coming
main.
main, they're
Go
coming
main.
main.
Go main.
It's Valk and Pulse.
So this
Bomb.
is really bad by me. And a blinking not far enough to actually do anything here.
Next fight.
We get a nice pick off. Tonki kind of sweeps this way, which is kind of problematic, and our tanks are still here. They're not reacting to the main right away, so they haven't actually entered the fight. If they're able to stall them here for a long amount of time by using their cooldowns, then our Farah can get a lot of value because she has a lot of room, and our Zenyatta has a decent amount to do as well. I think the Zenyatta should be playing like this corner with this retreat path, or like this retreat path. Ultimately, though, this is decent positioning. I think most of this is a reaction to we thought they were going this way again, from here instead of from here. So a lot of teams still kind of reacting to that difference.
Nice.
Here comes
Yo,
the
guys,
behind you.
contest.
McCree left side.
All right. We don't seem to be able to collapse on this McCree. He's hard to hit from, so one of your DPS is down, and he's hard to hit from here. You can kind of zone him out, or it would require a hashtag to already be in here. If you would said turn around and just like hit these 3 or 4, like I think you get a lot more value out of the Winston gun, while stalling them there for the Farah to really play a part.
Left side. In house.
Discord's Winston.
I think we get him though.
Poppin'.
See how much damage we took from that though. What happened to our bubble?
It's Valk and Pulse Bomb next fight.
So why do we drop
Nice.
here?
Here comes
Yo,
the
guys,
behind you.
contest.
McCree left side. Left side. In house.
Discord's Winston. Poppin'
We just don't use Winston bubble.
all group out with me.
I'm on Diva on point. There's about half on point.
Tried for that. That's a decent try.
Keep on fighting.
I think we needed to, and we retreat in time. That's good.
Keep contesting point. Keep contesting point. I'm gonna go for this res.
Nice res.
Try to drag.
I'm on Zen. I'm on Zen.
Yo,
Then is 1.
save all.
Cold
Save
target
all.
down.
Zen down.
I'm on
Just
Diva.
stalling.
So this Winston just jumped in the middle of our team in between two people, and is not able to be peeled for.
Monkey, 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 monkey.
Alright, he ults.
Oh,
Got the ult out of him, so that's all the same. We're just stalling now.
it's just me here, isn't it?
I used a lot of ults for
solo
this.
ulted. I'll take it. Just reset. Alright, they totally.
Alright, unfortunately they have an ult economy because we burned 1 ultimate, I think 2, 3, and I think we D.Va bombed early there. We might have burned like 5 ultimates on a fight that we ended up losing.
Just save.
Keep
Left side. In house.
Discord's Winston. Popping Zenol, group out.
We'll spam next
We
fight.
actually burned 6 ultimates there.
Nice.
Here
We
comes
lost
the
that one.
point.
One's in.
Just save all
That's
day.
that's awful. That's so bad.
Down.
Just me here, isn't it? Okay, solo. What? I never
I
saw
say we
that.
go in and dive Zen.
Yep, we can just dive this
So
in.
wait,
And then
was
we'll
that-
take out.
Just wait for me to get a good direct and we can dive in.
Was that a no, Lakota? They didn't Deadeye?
They did not.
Okay.
The Zen is back.
Zen's
right?
back right.
Alright.
So the positioning is decent. I'd like to see Lakota take this high ground as space, or maybe, yeah. If we can take like this high ground as space and force them to like this side of point, we might have an easier time getting directs. With the tracer kind of going this, we kind of like collapse them into a small room, perhaps. Prevent them from taking the entirety of point and making the fire rockets more effective while creating angles for ourselves. Right now we're just kind of going by this conclave. I don't really see a really great dive target right now because like this McCree is close enough to his both healers to get peeled for very easily, and then you get countered up by these two. Coming across this like gap here is kind of rough because you won't be in line for any of
Try to
you.
make my way
Just wait
back
for me to
right.
get a good direct.
And now he's no.
Discord's on.
So we're kind of forcing them back by rotating this way and rotating this
Easy.
way.
Okay.
So this is, I think, a little forward here by Hash. I don't see our Winston.
Discord's
You guys
monkey.
push now, push now, push.
What triggers this push? Because we don't have any damage on any of them. We haven't yet gotten that direct we discussed was going to be our win condition. They used bubble.
Push now, put that Zen.
First
You see
two.
that Zen?
Soldier.
We're diving in the middle of this. Alright, we actually get the Zen from something. What does the Zen take damage from?
Red side.
Alright, I'm just trying to make my way
Just wait
back
for me to
right.
get a good direct.
Discord's on D.Va.
Okay.
Discord's
You
monkey.
guys push now, push now, push now, put that Zen.
First
You see
two.
that Zen?
Soldier red side.
Alright, Zen takes a direct. Okay, cool.
Nice.
This is like a decent collapse from both of these. The problem is neither of their defensive capabilities are able to block for one another, and our D.Va has turned her back to like the entire enemy team in order to do this. So yeah, we're gonna get this kill, but we're gonna lose mech for it. And if he had used trance there, we just like auto lose the fight and feed a bunch of ultimates back. Which I guess we can't really play around, but I think we could have taken this a little bit more slowly.
Discord soldier.
Soldier?
So yeah, we lose all this. We're getting insane value right now out of both our Farah, who I think is a little bit close to this fight right now. It doesn't need to be here necessarily. And the Winston Tesla gun.
I'm on D.Va.
Three down.
Discord's D.Va. Mercy, she's
I'm on
Mercy's
D.Va,
falling
I'm
down
on
the
D.Va
well.
still.
It'll cost us our mech.
D.Va. Baby D.Va.
Yeah, baby D. How does baby D get
Soldier.
over here?
Soldier. I'm on D.Va.
This is good positioning.
down.
Discord's D.Va.
Fire Zen. He gets a little bit close
Mercy, she's
I'm on
Mercy's
D.Va.
falling
and
down.
then gets jumped.
D.Va
well.
still.
And we don't react here with our Mercy, so he's going to die.
D.Va. Baby D.Va.
Okay.
Baby Diva's low. Baby Diva's low. Good hold.
So when a dive comes out, the healers need to pocket whoever's being dove, especially if it's themselves. Each other,
Go
rather.
fucking jump him. Just go jump him. Good job.
Body block, body block.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, Zen's coming. Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
Where's that? Try for it.
Alright.
Where's the
So
Zen's at?
this is where we have some problems.
Ruined house on the left.
They're running double hit skin. We're not running the fire, thank God. So our problem is going to end up being the Widow for the most part, and
Let's go bridge
taking too
side.
much
Go
damage on engage.
I'm coming.
Bridge
I'm
so
sorry.
that we have a little bit of cover.
Tonki's really far behind right now.
Oh,
He
Tonky, you're so
was
far
AFK
back.
at
No,
the
no, no, it's
beginning.
fine, it's fine, it's fine. Just keep going. It's fine, dude. I'm covered.
I mean, nobody.
Or
So
they're
I don't know what wins. So like, see how many people are back here, and see how everyone else has decided to avoid the sightlines because this is a very, very heavily slanted Widow map. Being here is fucking useless. I realize you're trying to get like sightlines on them, but you're not using cover, so you're just taking a headshot plus Discord, and you're getting
they're
two shot
running,
here.
they're running.
They're running.
Yeah.
Dive with
Oh.
McCree Widow, yeah.
So you're not even calling out where the Widow is. If you see if you're getting shot from here, let us know so we know what sightlines to avoid. We're still kind of trying to come in this way, which is fine, but this fight is likely lost because we lose someone on approach. And so we might just want to reset. We get a trade back. Our Zenyatta is main doing some work of his own. We have the Tracer behind on a good flank. This is like diveable-ish, but we have to commit to it.
You want to dive this?
Yes, I did want to dive it as soon as the McCree went down, but now they're up.
Zen's one.
Zen one.
They just read.
Zen is being pocketed.
Yep.
Where is our healing orb? I
Widow's
don't
top,
see our healing orb anywhere.
top
See half?
left.
Shit.
Widow's
Yeah.
top left.
Review.
Call targets. I'm down.
I'm coming in behind.
Let's see if we can cap until before they get on point.
That's a lost
Discord
fight.
Zen, Discord Zen, Discord Zen.
Discord Zen is kind of big, but unfortunately the team's unable to really follow up on it because Coach is locked into a death battle here, and Hash is out of mech. Your only real option, I think, is to Discord him and contribute the fight here. But this fight is mostly lost, and I like to think it's on the back of the first
Just
Widow
regroup right
pick.
now. Regroup.
Yeah, so we lost that fight well enough that they're ahead in a decent amount of ult
I'm
percentage.
dying, I can't.
Yeah. And we're going to generate a lot of ult for their supports here.
Well,
so
yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
be
fine,
surprised
yeah.
if they have one of these ults. Yeah, they're going to have both of them, essentially.
Widow's back mid.
Why are we even checking?
Yeah, you guys should hop that Widow real quick. I'll chat.
You can't really. So like their tanks are playing here. And our movement abilities at best can get from like here to the center point, something like this. So if she's like back here, we have to essentially be here in order to jump her. So our best bet is just to like avoid sightlines. Maybe send the Genji further this way to harass her. Take a fight on point once she's cleaned up. Prevent a res. And then come in. The problem is if she's being pocketed by the Mercy, we have to take advantage of it by killing the other people when they don't have their main healer there. But we're likely to lose the fight against Mercy Widow versus 1. And they can snowball there from there.
She's
And they're
way
going to
too
have
far
ult
back, so she's
advantage.
not-
Let's go bridge side on the right.
Taking so much damage here.
All together
She's
this time.
Widow's back left.
Epic
That's fair.
heals. All right, go.
So we're still fucking spread out. Our Winston is the furthest from the point, while our tank and our flanker are like setting up to collapse here. We are not playing coordinated at all. Our other flanker is in the back as well. So there seems to be disagreement of when to actually force a fight.
Go bridge side. Go right side. Right side.
So I get a
Seven's down.
pick. We're still like way in fucking nowhere though. We haven't actually like committed the fight.
Nice,
McCree no
nice.
flash.
Killing these guys would be fine. I need to back up because I seem to think we're going to be fighting on point.
They're rezzing him.
Look for targets. Look for
I want
targets.
Diva.
Alright, so we haven't actually... We almost got Diva Mech, but we traded my life and res for it.
Targets.
Diva's on point. She's half
They just
movement.
leap away. They use an ult because they had the advantage.
Yeah.
They use both of their support ults. So they're using both of their support ults, and we decide to jump now. That's not good. We should just give this fight.
McCree far left.
McCree far
You
left,
can't
right
possibly get him.
Stay bolts.
You can't possibly get him. We're being a little forward here, but the fight's over.
Stay bolts here. Dry push. Dry push.
Literally nothing to do.
Suicide.
Tonki's
You
going
guys
to
are
frag it
jumping
out.
off, guys, jump off, jump off.
Yeah, Z
I
check.
guess
Z
we're
check.
He gets his ult.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said
That's
dry
fine.
fight. Or
Well, there's a
Yeah,
difference.
no,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
yeah. Dry fight doesn't mean we're jumping.
You're right.
off.
You're right. You're right.
All right, so now they have. We're not going to count infra really. They have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be able to take this fight.
Maybe I shouldn't ask. I don't know. Let's see. All right.
Importantly,
so
they have nothing for Blade.
We close to anything else? Is it
Okay,
okay?
let's-
We're just taking like
Almost.
too long upon
It's
approach.
a Genji Zen combo.
They have walls.
I'm lagging out. I'm lagging out. I can't see. I just sniped her while lagging out. I didn't even
Why are we not going in?
know how I did
That's
it.
okay.
let's-
They have
She's
no
got
res. Yep.
Okay,
Look how much damage he took upon approach.
Zen combo.
What are these sight lines
walls?
he's
I'm
coming
lagging.
through? So like right down here, he's gonna get fucked.
Out. I'm lagging out. I
He
can't
needs to use like these pillars or like this building to come through.
see. I just sniped her while lagging out. I didn't even know how I did
That's
it.
okay.
They're down res,
They
that's
have no
cool.
res.
Watch his health.
Yep.
50%.
Okay,
Jumps in, forced to bubble here, and then ults. He's
Okay,
going
yeah.
so far and beyond anyone can help him. They immediately look. Everyone is just like fucking kill this guy because he's way out of fucking position. He is unable to be peeled for. It doesn't matter if he has 1k health. He's not able to play the game. If he gets discorded, and or stunned, he's like he's unable to kill any of these people because they're just gonna start pocketing each other, and he's just feeding a tremendous amount of ult charge.
yo,
Come on,
yo,
targets.
Lakota, let's go. Let's
Fortunately, they have a decent number of ults, but like if they get the Zen ult,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Let's
no.
do it. Let's do it.
what are we committing here?
go. Get their
We win
Zen,
this
he's back
fight.
here with me.
All right, so we committed 1 ult, 2 ult, 3, 4 ults. We're forced to do that, I guess. We better win this fight.
Widow.
Okay, okay.
I mean Mercy. Oh, Zen.
All right, we get everyone. Cool.
Nice. And we save Tracer.
However, we have 1 ult, maybe 2 now, because we had to commit 4 because of that positioning. And they're coming back with 1, 2, 3. So,
Oh, no.
Good thing we
I'm
won
not
that
gonna
point,
lie,
but-
I lagged out, so I deflected to save myself.
so what I would like to do here is take positioning away from them. We don't need to be playing back on point. In fact, we're very kind of fucking useless if we do that. If I remember, I'm down here by Mega. We can have someone like Winston or Genji probably up here, then Winston Diva up here, or Winston Diva on this high ground, or split, so that when they come through here, we can drop down on their Zen, their McCree, and deny the high ground from their Widowmaker. That's what I would like to see. That'll stall them out a tremendous amount of time. We'll have our Zenyatta, Lucio, probably like here or here, ready to peel for each other and rotate back to point, while still being in range to get Healing Orb and Discord Orb down sightlines. Like, I don't think our positioning for defending this point works for dive, particularly against their comp when they have a Widow.
And it somehow killed the widow.
I'm
I
pretty
didn't
sure
even
they-
Like, imagine the hell they have to go through to get us, like, off here. When they have 2 grounded
On my
DPS.
screen.
And we
Alright,
can
let's
get
focus,
all
guys,
of our
focus.
DPS up here.
They-
Lakota, if you can stick their Mercy somehow.
I can't stick
Okay.
to Mercy, no matter
They
what.
They didn't Valkyrie. They didn't Valkyrie is what I'm saying.
Widow's top
Oh, my
left
bad.
with Mercy.
See how they take the high ground first?
Widow's top left with Mercy. Want to dive
Alright,
her?
here they come.
Our hash goes after the pocketed 2 up top without Winston support. I don't think he has orb either. Let me rewatch that.
Dude,
Valkyrie is what I'm saying.
Widow's top
Oh,
Oh,
left.
he does
with,
have orb. Okay.
with Mercy.
Does he
Widow's
stay
top
have
left with
orb
Mercy,
when he
wanna dive her?
jumps? He
Here they
does. Okay, so the orb's good. Orb's perfect, but he's not getting the support of his other tank. And we're just giving them this entire staging area upon approach. Remember how they were like playing their tanks like here and across here to at least like pressure their approach? We're just giving it all up. And honestly, this point is a really shitty place to defend. The entirety of point is like sitting on low ground with a bunch of ways to like flank and use cover upon approach. So we don't actually want to hold here. This courtyard is the most vulnerable part of the map, in my opinion.
come. Dude, the rest of them are.
Dives late, but looks like we might be able to kind of collapse here. We can't extend too far because they're likely to go this way. You can see them turning around already. We have our 4 up here. Seems
Coming
good.
through the middle right
You
now.
see this
Yo,
Mercy?
guys,
She's
they're gonna
really low.
jump me.
Alright, so this guy jumps into what looks to be 3 of us. Just kill him. So Winston's free.
Yo, I need you guys.
Lakota? How does Lakota end up there?
With Mercy? Widow's top left with Mercy on a dive.
Alright, here they come. Dude, the rest of them are coming through the middle.
So I don't like the Lucio joining us up here, because that leaves Zenyatta by himself with no option to be sped away or booped or peeled for. If they had, instead of come back here, just sent like the Winston on our Lucio, I think we just lose this fight, because suddenly we have like 5 people here, and they have the entire positioning on 2 point, and so we're forced to retake it.
You see this
Yo,
Mercy?
guys,
She's
they're
really
gonna
low.
jump me.
So we dash in, we don't get the kill because we missed the dash.
Yo, I need you.
Yeah, it looks like we missed the dash, and then the tanks have already committed their cooldowns this way and are reacting to this, so we're not able to get us. So that dash ends up killing us. And then we get blown up by dropping down in front of them as Winston
Here they
without our
come.
cooldowns.
Dude, the
One,
rest of them are coming through the
two,
middle right
You
now.
see this
Yo,
Mercy?
guys,
She's
they're
really
gonna
low.
jump me.
4,
Yo, I
5,
need you guys.
6. Alright, we might have had jump, but the stun kills us in the middle. We don't react. And now Tonki's left out to dry. Now I'm forced to be playing from the back as Tracer without being able to really do anything, because our main tank and our like follow-up DPS are all gone.
Ew.
We're gonna boost in here to try to get a quick pick, but like I think this is just feeding more ult charge. We need to kind of like fall the fuck back and like recontest point. If we all had like left from like the diva here, these 3 back, maybe we get like staggered once or twice. But I think we're in better position than just dying off a point.
Sorry.
Mercy 1. Mercy down.
It's nice. Keep calling targets, Donkey.
McCree,
One's
McCree.
in.
See how he's like so far up at this point? We haven't properly reacted to them coming here. So we're just kind of trying to frag.
Winston. Oh, never mind. He opted back up. Here, can you keep me up?
It's just you and me. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you.
not. Okay.
Okay, now we fall back.
Jesus
It's
Christ,
two?
Donkey.
Send no traps.
targets.
You're welcome. Winston.
Ew.
Sorry.
Mercy 1. Mercy down.
It's nice. Keep calling targets, Donkey.
McCree,
One's in.
Winston. Oh, never mind. He
He
opted
does
back
get a
up.
lot of kills here.
Here, can you keep me up?
It's just you and me. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you.
not. Okay.
Jesus
It's
Christ,
two?
Donkey.
Send no traps.
targets.
You're welcome.
If you guys get in line of sight,
No,
nah.
let's win this. Let's win
Hold
this. Donkey, you
So Zen should absolutely be a focus. We don't need to beat here. Like, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on point versus their 2. This beat is useless.
fragged out. It's
Do
just
it.
2 of them.
One,
Zen one, Zen one.
We don't even get 2 of our members in beat.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
two?
Donkey.
Send no traps.
targets.
You're welcome.
If you guys get in line of sight, nah.
No, let's
Sorry.
win this. Let's win
Hold
this. Donkey, you fragged out. It's
Do
just
He does
Who's
get it.
Season one?
Oh.
Season 1 on point?
No, he's
What
full.
the
He's
fuck?
full. Diva's one point.
I mean, we're jumping.
You're
off.
right. You're right.
Left on Ruined House.
Diva Mech 1.
Then
One
Winston
monkey.
on Winston.
Nice
How
read.
does he lose
All right,
so
let's
fast
focus,
then?
guys.
Top left with Mercy on a dive.
He opted back.
Win this. Let's win
Hold
this.
it.
Donkey, you fragged out. It's
Do
just 2
it.
of them.
So he actually gets it.
Monkey,
Zen one, Zen one.
He just gets burned
Then
through.
One
Monkey
Okay.
on Winston.
So we get beat on 3. I really dislike that beat.
What's
He's
the
one.
point?
I'm just reloading.
Nice.
I have
Nice.
another bomb.
Dear God, dude.
So they're down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. They have 3 or 4 pushed up. Just take this. Take this fight. Let's go.
All right, we're gonna have
Winston drops a bubble here, but he's at half health. He needs help.
another pulse bomb, so we use that.
Agree.
Close to-
Pushing him.
I think we actually take this fight.
Yo,
see
so
this
how
dude?
close
Yeah, this Widow is out of position too.
you know?
Yo, where's
I've almost
Okay,
got
we forced
another
them all the way back. That's
one,
good.
So we're gonna combo that again at the end of the
Here's-
fight.
Time to back up.
Widow here?
careful?
Need heals?
Oh, God damn it.
Or
I'm
stay
sorry.
a little
Get
bit.
back, get back, get back. Just hold on.
She's
point.
up top.
So right now we have maybe 2 ults, but they're coming in with 3, one of which is a very good ult.
She's up top.
They push immediately because they realize that we're fucked. I need to look for a bomb and immediately stall this push.
Yeah, back up. They're
We drop our Winston bubble there.
Careful.
Need
Why do
heals?
we do that?
Oh, God damn it.
Why do we... Okay, so we jump up here. We realize that this is kind of where we would normally want to reset to, with like people on the high ground. But when we're down a person, we need to just drop back and wait for the regroup, I think. particularly when we don't have the ults. This stagger is, I think, what ends up killing us.
I'm
Alright,
sorry.
let's get back, get back, get back. Just hold on
She's
point.
up top. She's up top.
So we dropped the bubble here because we're taking a shit ton of damage, and we use leap to get up here. Okay, that makes more sense to me.
Back up the Mercy.
Good position by Tonki to react. This is on heal right now. I really think, like, Lucio needs to be up here speeding us back for the most part.
Ulti.
This Winston is currently caught,
It just kind
so he needs help.
of
Does
back.
he get
I'm
killed in
coming back
midair?
with
No.
Blade.
Alright, so we have a relatively good disengage here. Seems fine.
Yo,
I've
save
ulti.
it. Save it.
I die here.
She's up top.
Yeah, back up the Mercy.
Yeah, I need to be more careful. I heard them use walls. I need to just not be here. That's my bad.
Ulti.
I think the only thing that could have
It just kind
happened
of back. I'm coming
is that as I blink back here,
back with Blade.
Yo,
I've
save
ulti.
it. Save it.
he reacts quick enough with the Matrix. He's like a couple frames off, which is a shame.
Save it for a second, Lakota, because I could.
Yeah,
pop
I don't
my
have
ult.
Blade yet.
So he retreats. We're still retreating because they're still in
I don't
Valk.
have Blade yet, but
We cannot engage there. Okay, so I die as Tracer because I'm being an idiot. We're down a person. You just saw your diva down in health, retreating using her cooldowns. Going in here without your ultimate is going to get you killed.
I think this fight. Oh,
Yeah, you immediately die because you take that fight for some reason. They're not even contesting point yet. There's no reason to do that.
Okay, dry fight, just stall, just stall, just stall.
There's no reason to die right here yet. We can, if our game plan is just to stall one at a time, like we can certainly do that, but I don't think that's really terribly useful right here. Like I think hashtag ends up mentioning here, if we just like leave here, we have enough percentage left for them that we can regroup without feeding additional time to them. It's
we'll
probably
wait for
ideal.
the group quick, because if anyone gets stacked, they cap it.
Well, yeah, no, I meant like before
Yeah.
they cap it.
Yeah.
can-
Alright, so I can probably
I
touch.
I can combo with you now.
nice. We can
I'm
group
at
with
90.
going.
Gonna,
I can touch.
aren't they gonna have
Yeah,
trans? though?
we can just go together.
You want to speed
Oh,
through
they won't
bridge
have
back
trance
with
yet.
it?
I
Try
can
to
touch, I
force
can
out
touch.
trance, yeah.
See how much damage we're taking here?
Speed through bridge on the right.
Alright, go, go, go.
Zen is left. So
What is... Lakota
Playing
definitely
Mega.
came in sight of the Widow there. McCree on high ground?
Go
Okay, so
back.
what happens here? Lakota gets picked off. Okay. That's a huge fucking problem. Touching?
fuck.
Alright. I come in, I'm forced to
I
recall.
have no clue where Widow is.
I'm about to zen on.
So, like, if you don't have any clue with Widow is, don't jump her. Right, how do we lose Diva Mech here? What happens
Zen
here?
is left. So by Mega.
So we're coming out here. Right, with you
McCree
so
on high
far.
ground.
Go to
I'm
back up.
touching.
Fuck.
I have no.
We use Diva Bomb. Alright, so the Diva Bomb's awful here, obviously. Not only are you unlikely to, like, win the fight from it, we're down a person, so it's likely we're going to have to stall, just use it to remake. Diva Bomb is a terrible ultimate.
No clue where Widow is.
I'm about to zen on point.
Uh-oh.
We lose Lucio. Because he's not peeling for Tonki. He's just, like, coming in. So now we're down, like, we're essentially down 3 people until she remakes.
Widow's top left on her own house.
She gets blown the fuck up.
Diva Mech
Tonki's
one.
forced to trance to save this. Coach is
Keeping the
ulting.
mech.
So we're trying to, like, the Tonki's gonna ult plan, but he doesn't have a good retreat path from here. He has come all the way across the Serengeti to fucking help us here. And he's forced, and since we're going in deeper, instead of we're stalling for our win condition, he's gonna end up basically here with his trance for, like, safety, and then he's gonna get jumped. So it's unfortunate that we're forcing him to commit to this.
McCree.
Look, he's ended up in the middle of the enemy team because he's just trying to follow tanks. keep them sustained.
Baby Diva on point.
He ends up retreating back to here, but it's too late. The Winston's already on him.
Baby Diva on point.
He has no peel because the
Hello.
Lucio
Did they
died.
trans? Did they trans?
Yeah, they just trans. They
They
just
did.
trans. Go, go,
Yeah,
go.
pop it, pop it.
Alright, boys, wish me luck.
I believe it. Believe it.
Nope.
Touch.
Nice dude.
Oh.
Yeah, that was poorly played by us. Alright, now we're on to Volskaya. Last map.
So I wasn't sure. At the right call.
Alright, so we're running typical dive with one healer. We want to get Soldier on this high ground and then use that for leverage. If they're not holding up here, we can just send the Soldier by himself while the rest of us come this way, and then contest the other high ground, which they're likely to be holding. Tracer, as a matter of point, is going to probably go this way and fight high ground from there. Hit them from the back. We all converge our fire on the top high
They're
ground.
probably running dive defense. I don't.
No, here they are here. This positioning is awkward by them because we can actually just go on point and force them down. So I want to see the Soldier kind of lingering here, right? Once we realize they're up there, Soldier lingering on this staircase. Rest of the tanks. So here's what I want to say. Let's label him A. Let's label these B. And let's label me C. So I want C to go wait for them down here, or to just kind of lurk here. Like, I have two options. I want A to be posted up on this high ground, and I want B to just kind of like force them down by waiting here. If we can play with like this as B and force them off the high ground, then we have a good dive opportunity to hit the people who are left, which is likely to be these two. Their tanks are going to drop down to contest. We kill that tank. If it's the shield tank, we can kill her really fast. If it's both tanks, we can't kill them really fast, so we avoid them and dive. If it's just the hog, we can kill them really, really, really fast, even though we don't have Discord. That's how I would play this.
I don't see
Oh,
him.
they're yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
all
up
way
there.
back. They're gonna
Far
be top
back, yeah.
right.
We can take
Top,
top
so
left.
they're
Go,
right.
guys. Let's go up
Yeah, I
top.
see
left
hogs
there.
in.
But instead, we run like our entire comp here, and we're going to use this to dive, which seems a little bit awkward. We don't, upper right, need to
Okay.
jump this necessarily, because this isn't actually commanding the point too
Good
well.
pick.
Alright,
It'd
I'm
be
gonna
crazy.
go.
It would have been better if they were like set up their defense like here, maybe. I don't know. I don't like holding back here as a shield comp. I would rather them hold here generally and actually
Right,
deny
yeah.
space and then rotate to point when necessary.
Hold on.
Oh,
So he cannot be first through this door.
fuck.
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
I
you
was
can
just
rest.
about
You
to
can
be
rest,
like,
you can rest.
remember, you're faster than
I can give
everyone
you.
else.
I get hooked.
Thank you.
It's bad too.
Okay, you guys ready for
I'm gonna make a comment like I blinked on my screen, but I
Yeah,
could have
oh,
reacted
shit, I
faster.
did.
I'm not there. I'm not there.
I'm dead.
So you guys are fighting solo. Where is Lakota?
I'm coming to
Yeah.
you.
Lakota dies back here. This is just a
Oh
disastrous
my
first
God.
push.
Alright.
Well, this is a.
Let's just
Just
regroup.
everyone
Reset,
die.
reset.
Let's
Yeah, just
regroup. Let's
die,
drop
just
this.
die.
Drop the soldier. Drop the soldier. That's
Yeah, I'll
favorite.
go Zen.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you, Taki. I was like, you run way faster than everyone.
Yo, if they're up there, we should go bottom right and go around them. Well, yo, but there's Zen.
Actually,
like, perfect shot at me. That's the only reason.
We don't have to fight
Not-
them, we're dev.
Yo, guys, not bottom right, but I actually do like the idea of going right side. Let's go right side and
That's
through
okay.
them.
So I'm concerned here because I don't want them following me.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like a death ball strat, but okay, let's do it.
We should not be going upstairs whatsoever. They're going to shield here. They're going to spam down this hallway, and we're going to lose all of our mobility and defensive options by going up there. That's a fucking awful idea.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, we're at us.
We get hooked. We die. Fucking awful. Pull them down to point.
Okay.
Trying to pull them down.
I shield
I'm on
that
Hog.
easy.
Hog's
Zen
half on
Discord.
point.
Zen Discord. Up.
Hawk has breather. He's not a good target there, unfortunately. Now that he's used breather, he's a good target.
Up top. Zen. Mercy, Discord. Get on
See how fucking split we are? Though we're getting a lot of work done up here. To be fair.
point. Get on point. McCree, Discord. McCree.
Fuck.
Get the McCree.
Kree's in the middle of everyone.
Discord. Back.
McCree back left. Back on
Literally
top.
no one else is hitting him.
Roadhog. Discord. Roadhog.
Points.
Summer and health back.
Roadhog can't heal. Get on point. Just go. You fucking sons of bitches.
Well played.
Alright.
Let's do a Z check for next
I
point.
got Zenalt. We should go right on point. Let's just go straight up the middle and dive on point, and I'm gonna Zenalt like once we start taking damage. Hopefully I get it before we die, but I think I will.
Alright, so what I want to see from this now is like they're going to be setting up their hit scan on this back platform, right? Like right back here, and here's the rest of point, something like that. And their hit scan are going to be somewhere over here. And maybe they have a healer on like this flank. So like Tracer can go this way, or he can blink over here, although blinking over here is loud. They can react to it. We should be looking to converge on the bridge in some manner, with Tonki staying like here for the most part, with maybe the Mercy Pocket. Honestly, with the Mercy Pocket, we can run a soldier instead.
Yeah, we should get that.
The Mercy doesn't really do anything here because she doesn't have anyone to pocket except for the fucking Zenyatta.
Yeah, left.
So we don't need to, like, as tanks go this way, we just need to converge on this high ground. And we can get there from, like, here, or what we can do to force them down. It's like, just come this way and just, like, leap from here. Or just use this cover and leap from, like, here. I think it's kind of weird that we just end up taking, like, a shit ton of poke on approach.
Left.
Side. Yo, left side, guys.
Okay.
McCree's
Just gotta-
hand.
we gotta
Alternatively, like, some people kind of go this whole way. I get a pick, so because I saw an opening here, but, like, look, here's the Zen all alone because the Mercy should not be with us. Mercy just needs to help him. Additionally, like, the tanks are not in a position to actually react to this pick that we end up getting upon approach. Also, he's alone, so we have, like, two people just kind of marooned here against their Sombra. Like, Genji's probably fine, but, like, you just gotta help this guy.
play around the hug. We need
They
to
got
fight the hugs.
Sombra
Yeah. And he gets fucked too.
behind.
Oh, okay. Staying out there too long.
Dry push.
He's not staying out there too long. You're not helping him.
Keep it going. Oh, both.
You get both supports.
Both the healers, yeah.
No, it's winnable. It's winnable
Mercy
here.
ult. Mercy. Go.
No.
Where's the one?
You have to know what's coming
I
in.
had no idea the McCree was
Keep
there.
on
So
it.
we should call it. No, just dry push. I mean, dry
Fucking
fight.
Sombra. Holy shit.
They
Now I
EMP'd?
got Zenalt.
Wait, so they EMP'd there?
Yeah, no.
Nope.
So they have Sombra, and she came behind me and hacked me and killed me.
Oh, okay, that was what you meant. Okay, so they're still gonna have EMP. We got to play around it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Did they have Sombra the whole time though? I think they did.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
what
did.
the
They
fuck?
did. They didn't
My
use
bad.
EMP in the first
Yeah,
point.
they have EMP as well, so.
Zen is back left.
Should we try to dry push Sombra to pop out our EMP?
Yeah, that can likely work. We can use high ground maybe as a
Yeah.
jumping point.
She's gonna be behind trying to hack me. You guys gotta give me
The Mercy just needs to
a
be with
second to get
team.
up there.
Dude, getting hacked doesn't do anything.
Summer is on point.
Yes, it does. What does it
On
mean?
right side.
Kills me.
Just
Going
go
high
She
ground.
EMPs you. Did she EMP
I'm
you?
ready to go high ground.
Alright, so the tanks, we got taken out of armor because they're... Yeah, probably just leave the orb on the Winston because he's taking so much damage upon approach consistently in fights. We see the Matrix trying to be used to protect him, but he's already fucking gone. This is like a little bit far of a launching point for the Diva. She has to get a little closer for this. So there's some desync here. I do like that the Mercy's back here with the Zen. But like, I'm already here, and I'm trying to get shit done. I think instead of leaping up to this platform, if both dive tanks go here, that forces, and then like move into this room, that's a collapse. Things just aren't synced.
Kree
He barely gets here. Where's Mercy? Mercy? No. Bad Mercy. Stay high ground with Tonki. Just stay there.
Okay.
They'll come back to you. You're now on point in the middle of fucking nowhere. If you join this dive, you get picked off as well. That's just
Just
I didn't
like,
get
not how you play. And
Alright,
you rightfully die.
dry fight, dry fight.
Then
Dry
one.
fight.
Alright, we use Winston ult. Not that big of a deal because it's not that much of an offensive ult. We didn't use Diva Bomb, which is all gonna die here. They overcommit an ult that they don't need.
Back at.
EMP, Valkyrie, and Bongo.
Did
EMP, Valkyrie, Bongo, correct.
they EMP?
Oh shit,
Yeah.
dude, they're gonna
Yeah.
get fucked this fight.
Yeah,
look
guys,
over
Yeah,
the
probably.
long
You can't
combo.
be talking. Yeah, guys, you can't be talking about like that much shit about the last fight, like right before we're about to fight.
Yeah.
Saying I
Going
need
in
to
upper
sink
left.
their comms.
I have bomb. Looking to bomb the support.
Alright, so this poke here is more for scouting. We don't want to commit those rockets there. If we're looking to go in right now, these rockets are actively bad for us because we won't have the cooldown to burst someone out. We have to kind of wait on them. Also, you haven't yet taken the high ground here, which is kind of issue. I wouldn't mind seeing like the Winston Diva kind of use this as their first jump, and then resting 6 seconds and then coming out, just to kind of pressure them and see how they react.
Zen's on
That's
that
Zen's in
back
that same spot.
This orb should be on one of your tanks. Definitely not him.
Sombra's gonna.
Summer
Okay, so where are our
translocators
tanks
upper right.
looking to go?
Ready?
Alright, good immediate reaction.
Alright.
Try to force out to Zen trance if you can.
Orb ends up
Yeah,
there.
let's go.
See, that's
Jump
good.
bridge.
That's a good positioning. This is too late. This is not good. Diva's still being healed up. We have time to waste for that. Lakota's not really in position. He's still kind of in poke phase. I think the only one like who's ready for this dive is me as Tracer. And I might be calling it a little early.
Sombra's gonna.
Let's
Summer's
listen to comms
translocators
again.
upper right.
Yeah.
Ready?
Alright.
Try to force out to Zen trance if you can.
Let's go.
Mid,
Let's go.
Jumping
Let's go.
bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, the Diva comes in here instead of joining. He's already taken half damage. Does our orb stay on him for this duration? Can you turn that down a little bit? Sorry.
Sombra's gonna.
Summer's translocators upper
So
right.
we have the orb on him.
Ready?
Try
Alright.
to force out to Zen trance if you can.
Let's go.
Mid,
Let's go. Let's
Jumping
go.
bridge.
Yeah, I think we shift the orb off of him too as he's committing to the dive. The Mercy is already healing him,
Okay.
so he's alone and dies immediately.
Oh my god.
Lakota's here.
McCree one.
The Mercy jumps in, so she's gonna die, and he's gonna die because of it.
Tanks gotta be together.
Discord
Yeah, so-
Mercy. Yo, Lakota alt. If you're here, yo, Lakota alt.
This is still winnable, yeah.
Alright, get this Roadhog, Roadhog, Roadhog. Discord's
God, Sombra's
Roadhog. This, Sombra?
You have to know they have trance.
Yo, Sombra, Discord Sombra.
Sombra.
We as a team should have known they had trance. So like the blade is not very good.
Well,
That's fine.
Alright. Sit, dry fight, dry fight. Yeah, dry fight, dry fight.
Damn, you're so close to that tip.
Alright, alright. I think I need to stop calling to go left. This time, we're gonna go straight through mid. We're gonna look for targets.
yeah, we should. I don't know. Do you want to get a Lucio to like get us? Because it's a really long dive that we have to do to get up there. I
can
can't
go
get.
Moira.
I can't get there in time with the tanks because the
So
dive-
we're
Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're going middle. I'm gonna have Valkyrie
Here I am going this rotation again.
mid fight. I'm gonna pop it. They're gonna be looking for EMP. I'm gonna try to stay away from it. All right. And then if we have some offensive ults, let's use them to cap.
translocators upper right.
Alright.
Or if it's-
Hello,
I don't see Zenyatta.
Insomniac.
Alright, so we're still a little desynced because this distance is so long. We're using Valk. Lakota's lagging a little bit behind, but he should, if he, instead of going this way, comes through this door and catches them there, that should be fine.
Go go.
Yo, not right now, we're playing.
he ends up doing that. He's on the Mercy.
I'm on Mercy.
Who is this? Guess there's no real like our support lineup's kind of fucking strange for dive. Neither of these people are really supposed to be in there with us, and I think he's actually running the risk of being killed here by being here. Like I absolutely would have preferred Zen.
Mercy.
If we're gonna use the Lucio, we can bridge this gap with speed boost to this platform from here. We can just use a regular jump instead of using mobility.
Alright.
Hello,
Targets.
Insomniac.
Go, go.
Yo, not right now. We're playing.
I'm on Mercy.
We split up.
Mercy in the
Alright, I
back.
stayed out of
Alright, we get one.
the
Okay,
Cool.
she's out.
Tonki is in the middle of their team, unfortunately, after that EMP.
Cold Target's on point. I'm not there. Okay, I'm on
What's
Mercy.
Mercy's back in.
That heal beam should not be on him anymore. It should be on someone who's actually in the fight that can spiderweb to other people.
Oh, on point.
We just leave it on him forever.
Right side point.
Why does he bomb?
Alright, I stayed out of the EMP.
Okay, she's out. She's out. Whatever. Cold Target's on point. I'm not there. Okay, I'm on
What's the
Mercy.
half?
Mercy's back in.
He's
Oh,
full fucking health and has healing. Why does he bomb here?
on point.
Mercy's right side
That's
point.
so bad.
Got two, got two.
Get the Mercy.
Don't bomb
Racers,
here,
uh,
dude.
Mercy's point. Mercy.
Mercy.
Hog. Hog.
See, like, this is where Discord would really help us.
Zen's right side.
Zen's right
On
side.
Zen.
Zen.
We don't need a blade here.
Arissa's gonna be coming in. Pop this Diva out of mech and get Arissa. Diva's
I'm-
touching. Diva
yeah, I'm
out of
on
mech.
Arissa.
Diva out of mech. Diva out.
Diva.
Like, ideally, if we're going to be running the Mercy, we have the Zen way back here so she can just fly to and from him. Mercy doesn't really have any escape potential right now, and is relying on Boop to
Diva.
be safe.
Where is this?
Diva one.
Baby Diva.
Baby Diva.
Tracer down.
Baby Diva behind.
No bomb.
Baby Diva. Nice. Get that shit out of here.
Alright, let's
Yeah,
watch
that helps.
the
We're so
defense,
close.
because
Is
the
this
defense is really sloppy.
Down brand soul.
Alright. Our put.
Which helps.
Come on here.
Coming.
Get
Coming.
over
Sure.
I'm coming.
Alright, so we're running this shit, which is, I think, a little weak to dive.
Can you spray the floor with me, man? Thank you.
Like, we don't have shield pressure at all. We're relying on hack to kind of get around their shields, or their defensive capabilities as upon their approach. We're gonna have kind of high ground control, but like once people leave the high ground, they have a difficulty getting back up. So against dive, they can position us off by taking it a little slow. And as we see, if they rush point, it's kind of rough
I'll
too.
spray whatever you need me to.
They're running Rancom. Triple tank, at least.
Okay. If you can hack the Rhine, that'd be huge. They're
Oh,
going
Lucio's
up top,
hacked.
right?
Lucio's hacked right now.
Okay. They're
We're not
they're
there
coming
to
for you.
follow.
Not
Yeah.
coming for me. So we're running the same kind of defensive spot they are, which actually just, like, they're going to drop the point first, and then they're going to set up, like, here or here, and force us to drop down to react, in which case they've already taken the space, and we're in a bad position. Our soldier's going to have difficulty, because once our tanks drop, there's no one really to help him out, except for the Mercy, so the Diva alone can distract two of them, until she's out of defense and has to come back down. By that point, they've cleaned up our tanks on point.
Oh, what?
Mega hacked.
They just immediately drop down.
I'm contesting.
Get it. Yeah. Let's have something.
I'm gonna hack Ryan in 3.
Discord's Diva.
Yeah, Diva's super lit.
I get hooked.
We can break
Oh,
this
God
Diva
bless.
mech right now. Okay, I'm
coming
on
to you
Ryan.
guys.
Ryan on point. Ryan on point.
Alright, so I'm a little aggressive there. I need to probably be on a high ground position instead.
Discord Zarya. I can't get it. Discord's Ryan.
No.
Yeah, they're gonna... Please tell me we get that
Ryan's so
wrong.
low.
Do you have bubble? Do you have bubble, Hash?
Why does he drop?
Alright, let me know when you have it.
No.
Discord's
Some
Zarya.
good frags here.
Zarya.
On this
Zarya.
positioning.
Grab pack.
That's dangerous. You should
Is it
trade your
Zarya
life there.
still?
Yeah, that's... You can't do that. Like, any good team is just going to burst that 200 HP bubble and just overkill you while you res.
Steven next, so I can ult. I'm gonna ult in a second.
No need. We got this.
Diva, Discord. Baby Diva, baby.
Leave her alive.
Oh,
How does Tonky die to that? That's
back
unfortunate.
to need to.
Zarya still?
Break Steven next, so I can ult. I'm gonna ult in a second.
No need. We got this.
Diva, Discord.
He just needed to retreat.
Baby Diva, baby.
That station drop is so late.
Leave her alive.
Oh, dude, you
Oh,
can't
man.
leave her alive.
You have
On
no
point.
heals.
Here.
Yeah, play safe. You have
Play
no
back.
heals. Use packs. Use packs. Play
I've
around
got
packs.
Nice.
Getting this mega again. Alright, so first point,
If
I've not
somebody can
done
peek out towards
anything.
spawn, I can fly to him.
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks.
Fast as fuck.
Coach, you wanna be my shield?
All right,
Is
let's
it-
see.
just
They're gonna have
disappointed in that
more ult for sure.
I've got.
Probably not grab yet.
I can't see anything. They're on point already.
This grab doesn't work out. I don't think we've taken a lot of charge since the start of this, and like we are so far away from being able to assist a graviton here. We don't have EMP to follow it up. And our main source of damage following this grab is our Reinhardt, who's well the fuck away from this. He's forced to charge in, and since he's at half health, he's likely to just drop.
Bad.
I'm on Diva.
He gets eaten anyway, and now our position is fucking awful. You see, like, how aggressive you were being?
Have more ult for sure.
Like,
I've
you were
got it.
telegraphing this grab from, like,
I
a
can't see
fucking
anything.
Aeon.
They're on point already.
Look how fucking aggro you're being.
I'm bad.
Yeah, you deserve to get that eaten. 100%. Now, Coach is here shielding nothing, because he's committed to the grab play. We still down a person? Has Tonky
Diva?
returned yet?
Save transfer grab for sure.
Discord's Diva.
Alright, so we get a decent hammer here, but we're kind of contesting this, so I don't know if we have the damage follow-up.
Baby Diva, Discord.
All right, no more ults.
More
no
in a
more ults.
fade.
Discord
Okay, cool.
Zarya.
We have a visor.
Discord Zarya.
I'll clean it up.
Lucio hacked.
Yo, there's more on point. More on
Discord
point.
Moira.
Nice
Good shit,
pick off.
guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna play right side this time. Is that a
I
bad
thought I
idea?
timed it in between the DM, but it just. got
Let's
you.
stay over here, dude.
That's okay, and then I'll fly to you if you need help.
Yo, Spoon, let me know if you see them coming left, because I'm afraid they're gonna come up the top left
Yeah,
side.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I won't
I
be
got
able
you,
to do
I got you.
anything. If they do, we all have to rotate around the back to top right.
Yeah, that's what
exactly what
They're
doing.
going left. They're going left.
Alright, right
I-
side.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of shit on them high ground wise. We need to just leave. If they
Yeah,
close
high
this
ground,
gap, we don't have
high-
the spam to get through the shield upon approach. We can't.
High
stay
ground,
there.
care high ground.
You guys pull back, pull back.
Not with
drop
you,
the
not
point,
with
drop
you.
the point. We're not with
Oh.
you.
Come on.
Alright,
Do
the
I
fight's
ult
over
this?
from here.
No, I got it. Oh,
I'm
I'm
on
stop.
So yeah, the only way we win this, I think, is with EMP.
Bruh.
I'm on Zarya, I'm on Zarya. Zarya on point.
Oh, what?
Gets booped to oblivion. We lose both of our tanks like really early in this fight.
Zarya's one, Zarya's one.
Alright, we get the Zarya.
Discord
I'm now kind of in an awkward spot.
Reinhardt.
Okay, I'm on Reinhardt.
I'm gonna get 2-shot here.
Ryan has ult.
Yeah, this fight's over. He's left without
Keep
support.
on contesting. Just try to hold it as long
Yeah,
as you
just
can.
dime point, dime point.
Save
We're
our
all
ults,
dead,
but
he'll be-
dime.
he'll be-
Oh, okay.
We actually held that for a decent bit. That's 3.5 minutes. That's not too bad. It's winnable.
Did they use
The
the-
problem is that they only used one ult to take that. They only used this and that one on the point, while we used 1, 2, 3 at least.
Sorry. Oh.
No.
they've got.
Alright, they got.
I actually don't
Do you
have
have
grab.
And
anything?
they
but
have Shatter. They have
It's not that
grab
big of a
and
deal.
Shatter.
Damn, I should have called that I was ulting. I thought you noticed that I had Valk out already.
Do you have
Burn
See if I
anything?
can hack
Shield.
Brian.
So I'm playing up here to try to
They come
hack
in.
Ryan upon he comes
Burning
in.
Ryan Shield. He
Go for the hack and I get
Just
immediately
Discord on him.
jumped. So where are our healers? I guess they're pocketing each other in the back. It's a shame.
Need help.
Yeah, they're all pocketing him, so I'm gonna drop. What I find a little bit awkward about the DPS standing here is that, like, against this composition, when we don't have the shield break, we have to like somehow get around it. I don't know. They're just coming in with a bunch of
Over
ultimates
Back
here.
on run.
Help me, help me, help me.
Couldn't see you, sorry.
Coach goes for the short
Diva's super
charge.
lit.
Is forced to die. Yeah, fight's over.
Diva's one. If you...
So get on point, die on point.
Honestly, I wouldn't die on point if you have to. You can just like wait for respawns and come in,
Okay.
so we're not
Yo,
triggering.
it shouldn't be me contesting his mercy. Need other people.
I don't know.
I'm gonna touch here in a second.
Need a
Okay,
Lucio.
you're gonna
Touching
have
him,
to
touching.
hammer down and. Ooh.
Switch to stall. Lakota, can you switch to? Oh wait, now you have
It's
ult.
flat.
It's still stallable. We can still do this.
The orb just like randomly gets me.
Alright,
Yeah,
I'm
they came in with
dying on
too many
point.
ults.
That's rough. It's kind of just they ran a comp that countered exactly countered what we were running, and we never got a
Also
chance to really
obvious.
switch.
Also, obviously,
Yeah, we for that there, we didn't rotate in response to their coming up the stairs. We thought we could contest. If we were running our normal like Junkrat shit, then yeah, I think we're okay. Or I think we have a better case for fighting that. But they only had to blow Hog ult, and they won a fight when we blew 3. Just a mismanagement there in Volskaya. I think our biggest issues are we take a lot of damage on approach. Our tanks aren't really aren't really synced very well, and we seem to have some miscommunication over both rotations and targets, like how to approach the fight, what sort of space we're looking to control, and who is on the enemy team preventing us from controlling that space. If we can work on that, I think we'll end up a lot better.